Hey guys, Teagan here from Bluesense Digital, and in this video I just want to quickly go through how I write script specifically for Google Sheets using Chat GPT. More just kind of out of interest sake and just going through the process of how I do that, just to hopefully streamline that process for you. It's obviously not a difficult process, but I thought I'd just run through that and hopefully this is a help. So essentially in this video and in this scenario, what we want to do is essentially match a SKU value with the SKU value in the actual product feed itself, and then pull that pull that item ID out into a separate column so that essentially we can plug in a group of SKU values and it essentially spits out the corresponding item IDs. So to start off with, this is a download of the product data off the Merchant Center. So this is essentially the Excel version of the actual product feed itself. So we're just going to need to clean this up a bit. So I'm going to delete everything here except the MPN value here. So we can remove these columns and we'll remove the rest of these columns as well, all the way up to there. So we'll delete all of those columns. So now we've got 3 columns remaining. We can actually add another column on the right here. Sorry, and then one more column, which is where the item IDs will get spat into. So I'm just going to quickly name these columns accordingly. We don't really need the title in this scenario. So just as a backup down at the bottom over here, I'm just going to duplicate this data so that if for whatever reason we do mess up with regards to the script, we have a copy of this data so that we don't have to go all the way back to the Merchant Center and download that feed again. So I've just named that all products, and I'm just going to duplicate that and rename this to all product safety. So we've got another duplicate of that data. So going back to the all product section here, I'm just going to delete this column. And now as you can see, we've got an item ID and an MPN value. This obviously can be whatever you want, and you can match whatever you want, but this is just for the sake of this example. So we've got our item ID, our MPN value, and then the input MPN value. So these are the values that we want matched with this row, and then the corresponding item ID pulled out into this column over here. So now that we've got our spreadsheet sorted, we're going to go to Chat GPT and write a piece of code for this. So how I like to write this is in the following format. So I'll start with, sorry, it might take me quite a while to go through this, but I just want to show you this whole process. So write a piece of Google Sheets script that does the following. So when doing this, you really need to be very specific with how you go about these requests. Otherwise, it'll, kind of assume what you want to do and it won't do exactly what you want it to do. So we're going to be as specific as we can here. So we'll start with step 1. We'll say scan the entire sheet. Then step 2. Then the next step in this example would be scan column B and C, and then highlight any duplicate cells that occur within these two. So essentially we want the duplicate cells that occur between the two columns. We want the duplicates that occur in column B to be highlighted. So just word that accordingly in your brief to ChatGPT. So we'll start with scan columns B and C, B and C, and highlight any duplicate, and let's just say, and log any duplicate value or duplicate cells that occur within the two columns. Then we'll say step 3 will be following on from the previous step. Please highlight all the duplicate cells that were found in column B. And that should highlight all the duplicates between the two columns that occur in column B. Then the next step is to essentially we want all the cells in column A that correspond to the cells in column B. We want those highlighted. So we'll translate that into a command here. So following on from the step above, please highlight all the cells in column A, that that are to the left of highlighted cells in column B. And then the last step is to pull out all highlighted cells, let's say duplicate out all highlighted cells in column A and list them in column D. So that is my prompt. Let's see what we get from there. Okay, and there we've got our script. So Chat GPT wrote that for us. Let's copy that and test to see if this works in this sheet here. So actually, before I copy that script in, let me just copy a couple of these MPNs just to test, and we'll throw them in this column here. And we'll just change a couple of these. So 98, let's go, let's just add a couple digits to a couple of these, just so that they don't all match. And this is just a test, by the way. Okay, so that's our example. Now we go back to ChatGPT, just copy that code, then go into this extension section here, app script, and then delete everything that's there and paste your code in there. Then from there, just hit save and then hit run. And it should ask you to authorize this code to run in your sheet. Okay, so here it's authorization required, review permissions, and we just need to give this section the relevant access. So I'll just sign in using my account. So we'll sign in there, click allow. And then it should say execution. Okay, execution started. And then execution completed. Now we go back to our sheet and there we go. Looks like it's worked. There you have it. Easy as that. So essentially now, if I wanted to run the script again, just ensure that you clean out this section, because essentially if you run the script again and you haven't unhighlighted everything, it'll obviously mess with the script because it's based around what was highlighted in the sheet. So if you're going to run the script again, just highlight all your columns, reset that, and then obviously run your script again, and it'll populate the last column accordingly. So there you go. And then, so essentially we put in our one value and it'll scan both columns and pull out the corresponding item ID and put it into column D. So there you go. So hopefully that was a help. I always get super stoked on Chat GPT and writing script with Chat GPT because it's, as you can see, it's a super effective way to save yourself time, specifically when managing large volumes of data like this. So again, hopefully that was a help. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, do all of that good stuff, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.